Welcome everyone, this is Honest Restart. In this video we're going to be talking about how we are still going through the longest Nintendo Direct drought ever, even though we just got a Nintendo Direct Mini. Now I'm making this video because not too long ago I made another video talking about the possibility of there being a Super Mario Nintendo Direct. And I made a joke about how we're still going through the longest drought ever. I was joking in terms of the seriousness of it, but I still meant it. Technically, we are still going through a Nintendo Direct drought. Yes, we got a Direct Mini, but when it comes to mainline Nintendo Directs, we still haven't gotten it yet. Now, some people may argue that the Nintendo Direct Mini basically was a full-scale Nintendo Direct. It was over 28 minutes long. When it comes to Direct Minis, that's very long. That's basically the length of a main Nintendo Direct. Usually, main Nintendo Directs can get upwards of 30 or 40 minutes, but it was pretty darn close. So what's the difference here? Well, it isn't time in my opinion. I think it comes down more to the kind of games that are being announced during the presentation. They called it a Direct Mini for a reason. They were setting our expectations to not expect too many major published Nintendo games announced during this time, and there weren't. The only announcements for new published Nintendo games were two. One of them was a little digital release on the eShop that was good job, and then the other is a June release for this board game compilation, 51 Worldwide Classics. These are smaller scale games, they aren't major Nintendo games. Nintendo usually publishes at least 20 games a year, usually more in the mid-20s. They have a lot of smaller releases, like Good Job, like 51 World Classics to help fill out the year. These aren't the major Nintendo games. The major Nintendo games are something more along the lines of Animal Crossing New Horizons, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, maybe Bayonetta 3, or Breath of the Wild 2, which we don't know yet if they're coming out this year. We don't know about what's happening beyond the beginning of June. The second half of the year is entirely up for debate. We still haven't gotten a main Nintendo Direct yet for this year. When we get that main Nintendo Direct, that's when I expect us to sort of learn about the rest of the holiday lineup. And that's the interesting thing. We have no idea what the holiday lineup is going to be for this year. Last year, we already knew about Pokemon Sword and Shield and Luigi's Mansion 3 and Fire Emblem and Astral Chain and Link's Awakening and all these other things, but this year, we know very little. And actually in 2018, by the March Nintendo Direct, they announced Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and that was the big holiday game for 2018. In 2017, in March, yes, that's when Breath of the Wild and the Switch came out, but we also already knew about Super Mario Odyssey and Xenoblade Chronicles 2 as the holiday games for that year. This year, we know nothing. We don't know what the holidays are going to look like. Yeah, there are some rumors and ideas, but nothing is confirmed yet. Nothing is officially announced by Nintendo. In other words, we still haven't gotten the main Nintendo Direct that give us a good understanding of what we're getting throughout the year. All we got was a Nintendo Direct Mini to help fill up the next couple months with smaller announcements while we wait for hopefully a big Nintendo Direct sometime in June, maybe July. That's a possibility. I think Nintendo's been making us wait a little bit longer than usual this year, so I am sort of setting my expectations for the Direct to take a little bit longer than expected. E3 was canceled, so normally we get the big E3 Direct around the beginning of June when E3 is actually happening, but given that E3 is canceled, Nintendo could wait a little bit longer. So I'm prepared for that to be either at the end of June or sometime in July. I hope not. I'm just trying to keep my expectations in check here. Nintendo's been taking a lot longer to do things this year, so maybe it won't happen as soon as we want. And I'm just preparing myself for that. It still may happen though. We have to take into consideration that once Animal Crossing New Horizons came out, once they absolutely needed to, they then gave us information with a Nintendo Direct Mini a few days later. Maybe once Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition comes out or that board game compilation in the beginning of June, once those games come out and we don't know about anything else in terms of release dates, then they will announce the big Nintendo Direct for the summer, and they'll give us information for what's to come for the rest of the year. Maybe. The overall point being, we are still going through the longest drought ever. And for some perspective, let's go ahead and look at the second longest drought of all time when it comes to Nintendo Directs. So this second longest drought actually began right after the September 2017 Nintendo Direct. This Direct happened on September 13th, 2017. Then, on January 11th, we got a Nintendo Direct Mini, and then finally, on March 8th, 2018, we got the big mainline Nintendo Direct, which is where Super Smash Bros. Ultimate was announced. That is the second longest drought we've ever gotten. Now let's look at this current drought. The last time we got a main Nintendo Direct was on September 4th, 2019, which, if you noticed, is earlier in the month than the September 2017 Nintendo Direct. September 4th versus September 13th. And only on March 26th did we get the Nintendo Direct Mini. The Nintendo Direct Mini during the previous drought was back on January 11th, and then the main Nintendo Direct that actually ended that drought was on March 8th. This Nintendo Direct Mini, not main Nintendo Direct, was on March 26th. We still haven't gotten that big Nintendo Direct to end the drought. To be clear, I'm not trying to talk about this drought as if it's a very big negative thing. We have information on games, there are plenty of things to sort of play and concern ourselves with leading up until the beginning of the summer, and at that point I'm sure sometime soon Nintendo will have announcements for the rest of the year. Maybe it doesn't happen right in the beginning like some of us are hoping, I'm hoping, but maybe we have other things to sort of tide us over. Maybe the ARMS Smash presentation, maybe we get a Mario Direct to sort of talk about these sort of supposed Mario games that are coming out for the 35th anniversary, and those things could help sort of stall things until our anticipation and hype completely overload, and then Nintendo announces the big summer direct. Maybe. It's hard to say. I think Nintendo can still give us a really good year, but the fact remains, we are still going through the largest Nintendo Direct drought ever. But that's all for now. Thank you so much for listening and watching, everyone. This is On Just Restart. I'll see you all really soon. Take care. Bye.